Hello, everybody. This is just another Time Lord here, and I'm going to go ahead and do a voice. I'm going to answer all these on a voice instead of just writing it out because, number one, I'm a lazy bastard, and number two, I think it's actually more interesting here that I'm going to do and ask me anything and then just answer it with voice. So, let's go ahead and get this started. Golden Vision here asked, who is your favorite companion for Doctor Who's and why? Um, that's actually a pretty interesting question because I really don't like the idea of Derpy being a companion with Doctor Who's. It honestly doesn't make any sense to me because really what I think it is that because Derpy is seemingly has no character at all, like she really doesn't have any character. We just like, oh hey, muffins, what that's all she is. They just kind of choose her because it's easy and it kind of seems like she can't really do anything anyways, because it's just kind of like the damsel in distress kind of thing, and I just really don't like that idea. Personally, I like how, what's his name? I think it's, Squeak Anon, the, one who, did, number 12 and all that kind of stuff, and he does his own little, radio play. I like how what he did with, having Twilight be the, companion, because, number one, she is useful. Like, I know she doesn't know very much, considering that it's a Time Lord, and then she's just a simple crazy unicorn fanatic of magic. But she has far more use considering that she's a unicorn, and she is also very smart. She has very intuitive, and it makes for a very interesting companion. And this is why I've always really followed his radio plays and read all of his stories, and I'm still waiting for him to update his other one. But anyways, yeah, that's my answer, and I hope to see some other stories around with her being a companion. Alright, Florina Crimson Flame asked, what are your pet peeves regarding stories? It can be anything, but please provide a list. Well, let's see, pet peeves. Do not like OCs usually. I don't have anything against them, but usually I don't like them because, I don't like to go with the stereotype. I don't want to be like, but most of them literally, they're pretty terrible. Nobody really knows how to make a character. And honestly, I don't either. I mean, this is the major problem that I'm trying to surmount with my newest story that I'm trying to come out with. I guess I'm going to call it 24, where Pinky has 24 hours to teach this snowman or snow pony about friendship, and I'm going to have to somehow try and give that snow pony some kind of a character. And this is the major problem that I come in, and I've talked to with my friend Toik Story. I hate saying that. It's so difficult to say. Seriously. Anyways, is that I just have a really hard problem trying to create an entire different character, while she has just does it. It just happens. It's just normal for her. I can't do that. It just doesn't make. I just can't do it, which is another problem that I can't. I'm probably not going to be able to do any real stories. I'm probably not going to become a published author because of that. Another one is grammar. Obviously, it has to be at least have some kind of semblance that you have some kind of knowledge on how to do simple grammar. Like, come on, commas. Come on now. This is like middle school shit. You can easily use a comma. Capitalization is, oof. I swear, I hate it whenever people do not capitalize correctly. It annoys me to no end. And another one that's kind of finicky, people yay or nay on this kind of thing, is the apostrophes with like saying like A's and B's. Some people like to do the apostrophe. That's not correct. You're not supposed to use an apostrophe because that what's the word I'm looking here? It implies some kind of ownership, and so you're basically saying the A's and B's. That sounds fucking retarded, but yeah, that's not how you're supposed to do it, and I hate it when it does that. It looks weird whenever you don't do it, but yeah, you're not supposed to use apostrophes with that. What are you doing? What do you want? Go away, please.
Who are you talking to?
I'm not talking to anybody.
Whoa.
I'm not talking to anybody. Do you want look? I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not talking to a single person. Now go away. I don't want to see your face around here anymore. Go away.
Why are you talking to yourself?
Because I'm like talking to myself. Just drink, you goddamn monster. Close the door.
It's not even a monster.
You can be a monster. Go away. And drink it. I know you're not going to go to bed. Yeah, I see it. It's a Red Bull. It's a Monster Red Bull. Monster Red Bull is the greatest thing ever. Okay. I don't know if I should restart or not. Okay. I'm not going to restart. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to restart. I don't want to restart. I'm a lazy bastard, like I said. I don't want to restart. Another pet peeve here. Let me think. Oh, yeah, that was my brother, by the way. He decided to come in and destroy everything I love and everything. And I'm sad now. I'm very sad. Anyways, let's see here. Another pet peeve is I really can't think of anything else. With story setup, I guess, is making an interesting plot, I suppose. Not shoehorning everything, and make it at least believable, because not very many people seem to be able to do that. They kind of like make it ridiculous plots, and I mean, usually they're comedy stories, and that's fine. I love reading a comedy. I mean, for instance, I'm reading Hail to the King. I actually read that not too long ago. Longest story I've ever read so far in one go. It was like 52,000 words. I read that in like 5 hours after work. I was just like, man, I'm gonna read this. But you know, if you're gonna be a serious story, then you're gonna have a serious plot. And whenever you're gonna write this story, you're gonna need to make it just somewhere where I can kind of sympathize with the character. And sometimes I can't. It's just like there's just some kind of massive thing where there's no way I can understand that. And I mean, sometimes, like, say, I don't know, Twilight can't do anything, like she can't use her horn. And you know, I mean, people could say, oh, well, I can't really sympathize with that. It's like, well, yeah, you can, because her horn is like okay, horns are basically like hands. They do everything, all the functions of this normal hand. So her not being able to use her horn is like me not being able to use my hand. And since humanity is basically all hands, I mean, you can imagine how devastating that is, and I can understand that, especially for a unicorn. She can't really do much else. She is magic. That is what she is. And if she can't use her magic, I mean, what else is she gonna do? And that's actually a very good story idea that I've seen a couple times, and it's just, you know, that's what I like to see in stories most of the time. And besides that, I really don't have very much else. I'm not very picky about my stories. Besides, you know, human equestrias are kind of, I don't really like those. I don't really read clop stories. I mean, I've read University Days, or like After Dark, or whatever the fuck that thing is. I read it because he made a very interesting point, saying that, you know, people kind of have this, like, dark line that separates them, that said, oh god, sex is just terrible. And this is a very good thing my teacher was talking about, how, you know, get rid of the sex. Just get rid of the idea of sex. What it is, number one, if you're thinking about it from the health side, it's just a magnificent system. Or it's the ultimate showing of love. I mean, once you're pleasuring somebody else, I know it sounds weird, but that's like the best way of showing your love for somebody else. So, if there's a clop story like that, I'll read it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal for me. It is kind of odd. I kind of like visualize, like, whoa, I'm reading horses having sex. But I mean, it's like, whatever. I mean, I'm not really that big of a deal about things. But yeah, so that's all I have. Next one, we got Midnight Spark. Who do you like editing for the most thus far? I knew somebody was gonna ask me this one. I don't have a favorite. I edit for far too many people to have a favorite, and it really feels kind of bad to have a favorite. I mean, if any, I have very, very good relations, a deep relationship with Raven's Dagger and Toyk's Story. Me and both of us, we are very deep relationship. We go really far down. I really consider them very good friends with me. Um, and I mean, I have CV Brony, for instance, a very good guy. I love talking to him. He's a fantastic story, Rites of Ascension. I really like that guy. I love talking to him. And we got a Space Cowboy. The guy's how I love that guy. He's hilarious. But I don't really have a favorite. I can't really have a favorite, especially whenever, I mean, with editing with 10 people and then saying, oh well, I like this guy better. It kind of makes me seem like an asshole, and I don't really want to be an asshole, and I don't really have a favorite in the first place. But yeah, so that's I can't really have a favorite. I'm sorry about that. But let's see. What is the worst? The worst. If you're speaking in German, it's the worst. Then what is the worst problem you've worked to edit? Worst problem. I hate you for misspelling worst, by the way. I hate you forever. Hate you long time. That's actually, I don't know how to exactly, because I'm kind of confused about what you mean by a worst problem. Because, and because if you're talking about problem and then edit, I mean, you could just be playing a play on words, saying, "Oh, well, what's the worst problem you tried to rectify or tried to correct," and stuff like that. And let me think back. I think that the worst story that I've edited is well, I can't really say a worst story, but the one that took the most work was actually a story I didn't edit at all. Like, I wasn't actually editing. It was, what was it? I have to go look this one up. I did not actually edit this story, but what it was is that I was reading it, and I was like, wow, this guy does not have a sliver of a idea of how to do grammar correctly. Yes, I know, but you're not supposed to say it like that, but yeah, he didn't have any idea, and I was very much annoyed, so I decided to make a massive comment that it corrected pretty much every single problem that I saw thus far. Oh, here it is. It was Equestria Girls, The Edge of Destruction. I edited that one, and that was a very, I mean, it was the shortest chapter. It was a very, very short chapter. I'm pretty sure that it was, if I look here, it was about either 30,000, or not 30,000, 3,000 or 2,000 words. It was about around that area. And I was spending more time editing or supposedly pointing out the errors than anything else, and it was not a very good experience whatsoever. And that's why I have a very big pet peeve about people having correct grammar, because it is unbelievably annoying to read something such as that, and it's just come on now. If you need an editor, get an editor. And I can't really have anything else to say about that. Oh hey, here goes Toyk's Story. Which fic what? Which fic what? Okay, I can't really. Okay, she is saying, what fic disappointed you the most? Even though it was not written correctly. It was kind of written odd. Anyways, if you guys remember, think back to one of my old blogs where I was talking about this guy that rage quitted Femfiction because of me. And that one actually has to be up there. But truly, the most disappointing fic that I've read was oh lord, I have to look this one up again. It was a recent one that I just read. It's by George, or however you say his name. It's spelled odd. It doesn't have an E at the end. It's probably some kind of foreign name spelling. It was like Monster Twilight, I believe. Yeah, that's what it was. Monster Twilight. It was a alternate universe fic where I recommended it in one of my blogs. That Twilight, instead of whenever she did the test, instead of Celestia being able to stop her, she fails, and I guess we insert a feral Twilight. Basically, she grows up in the forest, and it was a very good, like, the story was phenomenal. The writing was fantastic. Everything was perfect, but at the end, it just entered just a whole new realm of what the fuck. Because it just, and we've already talked. Me and the author, he has sent me a message, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry about the whole thing," and he's like, "Oh, if you want, you can go ahead and just look at me while I write the next story, the letters of a Twilight monster, princess monster, or whatever." And so I have that on my Google Drive, and I have I have just the chance to just always look at it and edit it if I want to. I've actually read through it a little bit. It's pretty good, but it just fell right into the cliches of the fandom. Everybody's all, "Oh, it's a Yalicorn OC and whatnot," and I was just like, come on. It was just so out of left field. I didn't expect it, and it was just so. Oh, it was right at the end too, and I was just like, God damn it. But yeah, that was definitely one of my most disappointing stories that I've read, and it's unfortunate. It was unfortunate, but it's whatever. We've kind of rectified that. We've talked about it, but anyways, let's move on. Scottish Pony has a couple questions here. Who is your favorite Doctor? E.g., Matt Smith, David Tennant, etc. David Tennant, definitely, because he is just a phenomenal actor. The guy is fantastic, and I really want to see some of the movies with him. Like he as an actor is fantastic, and he's could just get into the character, and just watching him was phenomenal because I would just be so into watching the show, especially because I actually marathoned non-stop, basically binged the entire show at once whenever I first started watching Doctor Who. And I really cannot explain how much I love him as an actor. And I really look forward to seeing some of the things from him if I ever get a chance. I've heard that he's acted in some of the movies, but I haven't looked any up. Who's your favorite Pokemon? Oh, don't ask me about Pokemon. Come on now. I feel really bad because I have a whole bunch of friends. Actually, pretty much all of my other friends in real life, IRL, they all play Pokemon. They all play Yu-Gi-Oh! And, I just don't play it. I've tried to play. I play Yu-Gi-Oh! I do that. I do have my own deck of cards. I started off with my deck of cards back in the day, and I did play that for a little bit. I do know how to play it. I'm not very good at it, but I can play it. But anyway, I don't know. However you say that big ass flying flaming bird, Ho-Oh, or whatever the fuck. That's I guess I'm gonna say that because that's the only one that ever comes to mind besides Pikachu. If you had to be turned into any animal, not pony, what would it be? Well, how about I answer this with a song? I know it just the perfect song for this one, because, I'm very spontaneous. And you are probably going to like this one very much. I know you are, because it's the greatest song ever. You already know it's the greatest song ever. Don't deny it. You will not be able to deny it. I will not allow you to deny it. And I don't know. Let's skip ahead on this. Yeah, I'm a total asshole. I don't know if that actually came through any good. I'm probably going to have to review it and see if it sounded any. But yeah, I'd be a fox. Why not? I have a friend who's actually named Fox. It was kind of funny whenever I actually showed him the original song. I was just like, hey, what the fuck say? And he's like, yeah! I was like, alright. That was really weird. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I love that. How did you start liking MLP? Music, friends, etc.? That's, yeah, of course, everybody has to ask me about my origin story. I started out Originally roaming on YouTube, I was just going by. It was around the time when it actually started, and then I believe what's his name? The guy made 20% Cooler. He had made somebody had, I don't know if it was him or it was somebody else. They made a little GIF or GIF. I guess that's what a friend of mine said. It was actually how you say it. Where it was just Rainbow Dash doing this really odd arm thing. It was really cool looking, and I was like, oh hey, that's pretty cool. Because I've never been very much of a judging kind of guy. I mean, I was just like, hey, that's kind of cool looking, and I thought she was pretty awesome. And then I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't really try to look it up. I was just kind of like a spur of the moment thing. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then a friend of mine said, it was a friend of mine whenever I first started my freshman year of high school. I was in band, and I play band. I'm a percussionist. I play the drums. If you don't know what percussion is, or that's the easy way to put it. But anyways, a friend of mine he was a trumpet player at the time, and he still was whenever he graduated. He had told me, he was like, "Oh, I am a big fan of blah blah blah." It was My Little Pony, and I was like, "Well, that's kind of odd." And I was like, that's I was like, "Hey, are you all right?" I was always the joker about that. I'm not a homophobe. I don't bash homosexuals, but I was just like playing around. Oh, are you gay or something? He's like, "No, I was just really like the show." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "You should really give it a try." And I was like, "All right, I'll probably give it a try sometime." I didn't actually give it a try until around December. Actually, no, it was a little bit before, about November, December, that kind of time, just before winter break. And that's where I really say that I started becoming a brony. I actually was introduced into the site before April. It was before April 22nd. I know that for sure. Or it was the 21st. I don't remember when it doesn't. Ever since 90 updated, doesn't show me the date I actually joined, the specific date. But yeah, I actually was introduced to the site not too long before that, and I read quite a few fics before then. So I've been around for 2 years now. Not 2 years. I'm almost about to be two. Well, hold on. Yeah, almost about to be 2 years. Well, technically, whenever after January, I'll probably be about 2 years. But officially on April 20, whatever, I'll be here 2 years. But yeah, that's how I actually became a brony. Azusa says, "What were you like as a child?" Well, people call me a hellion. That's the easiest way to put it. I was a pretty I wouldn't say bad, but I was just everywhere. I remember back whenever we were living in apartments as I was a child with my mom and my dad, and before my brother was born, I believe. They would always go out and smoke on the porch. We had a little porch in the back of our apartment area, and I would always I was a crazy climber. I mean, I climbed on everything. I used to still climb before I was older, but now I don't really do much. But yeah, I was a crazy climber, and it was a massive massive to me at least, little wall that was blocking me from going over the porch edge. I don't know how to explain that. It was basically just, it was just like a porch in the back with a little fence area around it. It was a solid plank fence. Anyway, I would always go and climb over that whenever my parents said no and just go play. I remember many times that I would wake up and I guess I couldn't find my parents. They haven't said anything yet how it ended up like that. But I couldn't find my parents, and so I would literally go and outside and just look around the apartment complex for them. I remember they actually called the police they called the police to come and find me, because what happened was this is the first time it happened, I believe. I had looked around the apartment complex, and there's a massive field that separates my apartment complex, or what was my apartment complex, from a post office. I went across there, and I went to the post office, and I thought, because my memory serves as I remembered going to the post office once, And I was like, well, maybe they're there. So I went to the post office, and they weren't there. And since I'm just the greatest person ever, I went over this was back in the day when you just put like the letters in the slot, and so I just stand there and I'll be like, "Oh, you want to put your letter in the slot? Here, I'll take it for you and put it in there for you." And that was just like the cutest thing, I guess. And everybody was like, "Oh," I was like, "Okay." So that's what I was like as a child, I guess. I have no idea what I don't have no idea what you're talking about with that joke. I tried to watch it, but then I was like, that's an hour long, and it's all about Stephen King, and I don't want to watch that. So, yeah. Alright, here we go. Cosmic Afro, the massive, crazy post of craziness. Cracks Knuckles, what is your favorite word? His first question is, what is my favorite word? Egregious. Or, no, not egregious. God, I always say it like that. It's egregious, actually. I always say egregious for some odd reason, but yeah, egregious is my favorite word. It just sounds so cool. Can you name a special memory in your life that helps you draw much of your writing from? You mean, can you name a special life that I draw that inspires me to write? Actually, I don't write through inspiration from life memories. I just don't. I just take a idea and I roll with it. Nothing really helps me write from my life. I don't have any emotions that sway me from writing, so I could write a dark fic one day and then write a super happy sunshine, happy fun time fic the next. I like to be very versatile in that sense, but no, I really don't. I really don't have any thing I draw my inspiration from, a special memory in life that helps you draw my writing. What are you stronger in, imagery or technical? I'm gonna say technical, but as I've proven to many of my friends, my editor friends for Raven's Dagger, whenever they always point out to me saying, "Oh, well," especially because I got rejected from Equestria Daily once, so in doing so, one of the reasons why was because a lot of it was all the stuff I already knew, but another one was because of imagery. And they said I needed to show more than tell, because it was said it was a heavy tell heavy narration. And so, after they were telling me, I was like, they say always default to show, and that was my major thing. I don't know why to show. I can, but I don't know why. Sometimes it's just like, well, just tell you it. I just tell you how it is, because I'm a very straightforward kind of person anyways, and I just say how it is. I'm not very good with showing it. And I'm not very good with showing it because I don't understand why. But whenever I do, I mean, I can, and I've shown many people. Whenever I do, it's like default to show, I can show it perfectly. It's a very clear picture. But I'm better with technical, because But I can do imagery if I choose to, if I really want to. Would you continue to write if you only had one hand? Would you continue to write if you had your less favorite hand only? That's a hard question, actually. If I had one hand, like writing, like actually with a pencil or a pen, and I had my favorite hand, my right hand, I'm a right hand person, yeah, I would probably continue to write. But like a pencil, writing on the computer just seems stupid. I couldn't do that. There's no way I could do that. Like, I would probably stop writing at that point. And if it were my left hand, I'm not actually sure what I would do, because I'm completely unable to write with my left hand. I cannot do anything with my left hand. In fact, I'm just such a massive right hand dominant that my left hand is just, it's impossible to do anything with it. I remember I sprained my wrist once, my right wrist, and I couldn't do anything. Like, literally, I was just completely useless. I had to try and do everything with my left hand that I can't do, and it was just unbelievable. I mean, it's really bad. There's no way I could do anything if I had my left hand and only. Why did you tag a story that had nothing to do with the blog? Do you know it's a punishable offense on FimFiction? I already answered that question, and I've already told you guys. I just thought maybe that you guys would take the hint that I wanted you guys to ask something about my story. Anyways, Which would be more interesting to you? A mind reader who can read any mind, but while reading the victim could read the other person's thoughts, or B, an immortal, not to be confused with an invulnerable and invincible, who has an amnesia attack every 60 years? Definitely B. That just sounds really cool. I mean, it's just like, he lives forever, but you're not living forever at the same time. It's kind of interesting thing, because living forever is, you have one mind, you learn everything, but he kind of resets every 60 years. So he can be anything. Like, every 60 years, he just restarts, and he just becomes a different person. Restarts and restarts and just restarts. That's a really cool idea to me. I would probably write a story about that if I had the time. But yeah, it just sounds really cool. Does life have meaning, or does the meaning of life make itself from the person? Life is what you make it. That is the definite truth. There is no meaning of life. Like, why are we here? That kind of question. There probably is an answer. And this is a very big belief of mine. I'm agnostic. I've been through the Christianity kind of form. I've done all of that. I was a heavy believer in God at a time, but I've just always found a problem with it because I've had a lot of troubles as a child. There were many troubles that I had to go through, and some of my friends might know of them. I'm not sure, but anyways, and God was a really good thing to believe in, and as everything's been chalked up, I was always told to believe that, if you pray, things will get better, and they didn't, and things really aren't even right now. I mean, they're better in a sense that I've kind of gotten over it. I've been able to deal with it myself, but honestly, religion's never helped me in any way. I don't really say, oh, bash religion for people that believe in it, but to me, this hasn't helped me, and that's anyways. But yeah, the meaning of life is whatever you make it, whatever you want it to be. Truly, what I believe the meaning of life, why are we here, is we'll figure out the meaning of why we're here later on, and I really hate that people try to say that we know why we're here. We don't. There's no way we know. I don't know why we're here, and nobody will know why we're here. But whenever we do figure it out, it's going to be fantastic. But right now, as a species, as a human being, your meaning of life is to help the species continue living on. You're going to just keep on going, and you're going to have an effect on the world. Everybody has an effect on the world. There is no, I'm not going to have an effect on the world. I'm just the poorest piece of shit ever. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but no, everybody here has an effect on the world. It doesn't matter if you're the smallest ant or the biggest giant. You have some kind of effect on the world, even if it's on one person or on everyone. And I understand some people, I don't have any meaning. There's no reason to keep on living if this is something, but there's always something to live for. There's something to live for in your life. And it might seem like you can't find it, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but there's always a light. There's always electricity running. You probably just can't see it yet. You just have to flip on the switch. Alright, next question is waffles or pancakes? Waffles, definitely waffles. Those are my favorite. Actually, my favorite thing to do is a friend of mine showed me this. Is what you do is you put peanut butter on it and then put syrup on it. Oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. It's better than living. That is the tastiest thing ever. Oh my gosh. Just be careful because that stuff it's like sticky on sticky. So eating it is a chore. You're sitting there for hours trying to chew one bite. But oh my god, oh my god. I can't even talk. That thing it's just so good. I want some right now, actually. I'm so hungry. Anyways, say that from day one of birth, you learned a new word every day and retain it forever and can call upon it like a dictionary. At what number do you think you could finally go? You would finally go and seek therapy to help retain your sanity. Actually, and this is it's been proven before, and is that the brain has infinite capacity. Like unlike many people think, there is we're not hard drives. We don't have a limited space. We have unlimited space. We can. It would take it would probably take billions upon billions upon billions of years, or not billions upon billions, but probably it would take longer than any human could live before we would run out of space. Technically, before you would be so clogged with electric signals that you couldn't tell one from the other. Because so we have infinite space, so I would never have I would never have to go to a therapist, and I think that would actually be pretty cool. I'd like to have that because it would help with me writing, because I'm not very good with vocabulary usually. At least in talking, I'm not very good with using proper vocabulary in talking. But when writing, I can usually have some kind of semblance of I'm sound like I'm smart. In space, can you point up? If you are in the middle of space with nothing below you, no. But if you are, say, like I'm floating above the Earth, I could say up is up, because the Earth is below me. I just have to have a reference point. Like if you have a reference point, like that's all it really is. Up is just based on a reference point in space. So in space, deep space, you're not around anything. You're just in the middle of nowhere. There is no up. But if you have a reference point, yes, you do have an up. Anyway, do you believe in beliefs, or do you prefer preferences? That's an interesting question there. Ooh, that's a hard question actually. I don't really know how to answer that correctly, because preferences, it's arbitrary, and beliefs are also arbitrary. They're both the exact same thing, really. Because I've always seen beliefs as religiously, like belief is religious, and so whenever you do, it's just kind of like, oh well, I believe in this, I believe in that, and it's just that it doesn't have to be based on any right or wrong. It's just how you feel. It's faith, and preferences are arbitrary, so it's what you prefer. I don't really know if there's a difference personally, so I don't know how to answer that question. I really don't. I'm very rational minded, so I don't really know how to say that. I guess I'm gonna just go with preferences, but I'm not quite sure what to say about that one. Alright, here we go. You are in a black, perfectly square room, and your hand is a white circle sticker. Whatever the face, wall, floor, etc., you place the sticker on the wall becomes the direction of gravity relevant to you. If you put the white sticker on the wall to your left, and then could stand sideways on that wall due to the change of gravity's direction, would that wall now be the floor, or because the floor was originally the floor, it's still the floor and it's just a perspective change? No, the wall would become the floor. I mean, it's based just on what the center of gravity is at. The floor is wherever you're standing. So I could be standing on the ceiling, but the ceiling is now the floor. But, like, let's say it's a sudden change. Suddenly, I mean, you wouldn't really be able to say that, because you would be still saying, oh, I'm standing on the wall. But in reality, the floor is whatever you're standing on based on the center of gravity, wherever you're being pulled down to. So yeah, the wall would still be the floor. The floor would just become a wall. It would be kind of an odd wall. It's like, why do I have a wooden wall? And everything else is concrete. That'd be kind of weird, but I don't have a concrete house and a wooden wall, but I mean, that's just an example I came up with. How many of my questions will you answer? A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, D, all the above, E, all the above, including all the above. Yeah. Definitely abcd. That's A, B, C, D, E in a word, abcd. Abcd, abdicid. I don't even know how to say that in real life. That sounds impossible. Impossible. Since my question is below the previous question, not above, does it have to be answered? My question is below the previous question and not above. does it have to be answered? What does that even mean? It's still a question. Yes. I mean, technically, I don't have to answer any of your questions, but yeah. Can you define something without using the words something or something? Something is whatever you want it to be. There you go. Are you fluent in any other language? Sí, señor. Yo hablo español, pero un poco. That's not how you say it. I only speak a little bit of Spanish. That's what I was trying to say, but yeah, I don't really speak very much Spanish. I just quit this year, actually, my junior year, because I was getting really tired of it. I really don't want to bash on any of you Spanish speakers, but I really do not like your language. It's very annoying to learn. There's a lot of things that I do not like about it, but you know. Were you expecting this many questions from one person? Well, every single time somebody does an AMA, I usually come up with just grab 10 questions out of my ass. So I was expecting somebody to go crazy. Did you know you can't spell just another Time Lord without Dorito? Yeah, I did not know that. Do you like Doritos? They're chips. It's whatever. I used to love Doritos. Like, those were my chips that I just ate all the time. But now I really am into Sun Chips. Sun Chips are my favorite now. What does a standard edit? Okay, here goes from XTSGX. Says, what does a standard editing session look like? Words. Lots of words on a page in a Google Docs. That's all it is. There's nothing really special about it. Whenever I'm working together with other people, I'm usually like the last person to do it, because I'm just kind of, I'm the last person. I don't really know what else to say. I always have so much else to do, and then I kind of speed through it all of a sudden. Alright, next question. How often do other authors get pissed off at you destroying their baby? All in quotations. This one comes from the fact that one of my English professors was also a freelance editor and warned me to be careful when editing someone's baby. No, actually they don't. Most of the time I'm usually really nice about it. I'm not very belligerent towards people. I'm not saying, oh, what the fuck is wrong with you, you bastard? You didn't get this fucking comma. You should just go die. I'm not really like that. Most of my edits are just say, this should be a comma. This should be a comma. This should be capitalized. Dangly modifier. All that kind of stuff. It's not really that. I'm not very, I'm not like that at all. I'm not an asshole editor. And so far nobody's ever gotten mad. I mean, basically, a friend of mine said, was this BCCGB? I don't know what the hell that is, but yeah, it was the guy I was talking to. He told me he wanted me to edit his story because I was just around, and he put it that I basically took a paintball gun and splattered it all over his story. There was that many comments, and he didn't find a problem with it. No, so far nobody's had a problem with it. And that's kind of a good thing, because I really don't like having to deal with somebody who can't take me editing. Because if you can't really take me editing and you can't take any criticism, then maybe you shouldn't be writing. I mean, life is all about taking the dick and then taking it back out. Because and that's a really, really, really odd analogy there, but yeah, you just gotta take criticism. And you've got to take it in stride. That's all I can say about that. Will Nightmares Don't End When You Wake Up ever be finished? Yeah, I have plans on finishing it. I just have to write it. I currently should be writing right now, but I'm not. And I also probably need to go to 7-Eleven and get myself a Monster or something, because I'm tired as fuck. I got off work at 10. I went to sleep 12, slept for 4 hours, and then woke up at 5. I'm really tired. Today is my day off, though. I'm happy about that, but God, I'm tired. What is your opinion on the Conversion Bureau stories? Oh, well, no, I hate them. I hate them with a passion. Chitoyance, or however how you say her name, hate her. The entire thing, to me, is total bullshit. All it is just people saying, "Oh, well, humanity's fucking terrible. Man, we're so god awful. We should just all become ponies and then salvation." It's just no. It's not okay. I really like to compare them to Puritans, how humans are inherently evil, and we're all damned to hell if we don't do it. And the Conversion Bureau offers a way to circumvent that, and it's no. We're not. I mean, we can be perfectly honest with ourselves. We've done many terrible things as humanity. I mean, we got Hitler. We have Hitler comes to mind. We got Napoleon, how he did all that bullshit. We have the serfdom and Russia and stuff like that. That was just terrible. Serfs and how they were treated in Russia were just completely terrible. Slavery. We have the Gauls. We have the what's another one I can think of? It's the Slavs. The Slavs are really bad. That's where we get the name slaves, which is kind of interesting because the Slavs are white, but we always think about slaves being black. But slaves originated from the Slavics, which were white. And, we've done terrible, terrible things in our history. World War I, World War II, nuclear explosions, all that kind of nuclear bombs, I guess. Explosions just kind of weird. But anyways, we've done terrible things. But humanity is inherently good. I believe that everybody has good inside of them. It's just the truth. And saying that, oh, well, hey, humanity sucks ass, we should all become no. What? No. If we can't deal with our mistakes and then try to correct them, then what are we? We can't just sit there and be completely cynical of our race. We have to understand that we made a mistake. We have to see that. We cannot be ignorant of our mistakes. We have to learn of our mistakes, and we have to learn of them, we have to learn from them. It's as simple as that. And I hate it whenever people I hate all those stories about how ponies will be some kind of salvation, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. I really do not like that at all. Alright, lastly, what is your favorite and least favorite fanfics on FimFiction? Well, you're going to have to make me go search this up. Least favorite would have to be a tie between My Little Dashie and Pinky, Cupcakes and Rainbow Factory. Just because they're the worst stories. I never even read them. I don't want to read them. Well, actually, no, you said that I read, didn't you? God damn it. Okay, so I have to actually have read these? Damn, okay. Actually, no, you said just favorites. My bad. Least favorite, yeah, so My Little Dashie, Cupcakes, and Rainbow Factory. Just hate those. I just hate them with a passion. And, let's see here. One of my favorites definitely has to be the end of the Time Loop trilogy by Aiken, however you say his name. It was the Time Loop trilogy, You Can Fight Fate, that's the name of the story. That one just, I don't even know how to exactly put it. It was just fantastic. The story was phenomenal. The second story in the trilogy was kind of iffy. I was kind of confused at what was going on, but the story was phenomenal. At the last one, I literally teared up and cried a little bit at the end. It was really fantastic. Another one definitely has to be the University Days by Dawn Fade. I really consider that to be the pinnacle of romance. That's the perfect example. But the number one fic, the one that I consider to be my favorite because it got me into fan fiction, has to be Transcendence by Coraggio. And that's just it's a story about Scootaloo and all that kind of stuff. That is definitely my favorite story. That got me into fan fiction, and I really consider that to be just fantastic. I can't really praise it enough. It's gone through an entire rewrite, and I don't even know what to say. Of course, I didn't decide to kind of kiss up to you about saying your fics TSG because I haven't read any of yours, not a single one. Oh, I feel bad now, but I don't read any. I haven't read any of your fics whatsoever. Let's go down to the last one that I have right here. The GNPSB asked, what site other than FimFiction are you most active on? Note, if you are most active on fanfiction.net, then give me the next one on your list instead. Why you tag unrelated story? Other site that I am active on. YouTube. Well, not really. I guess I don't really know what like active. I just really go on YouTube a lot. Besides that, really not anything else. I used to be active on a lot of different things. I used to be all over the place. But after I stopped watching anime, after I've stopped playing this game Edgeworld and whatever the hell this other game was, I forgot what it was. It was a trial game. It was a game. It was a limited time game only. And then well, it wasn't limited time, but what it was is that they didn't get enough money off of it, so they just shut it down because it was costing too much to run the servers. But anyways, I played those two games, and those were my favorite right then. And then after I quit them because it was getting too boring. I was joined like the highest clan there, and they taught me how to do things, how to just rank up fast and all that kind of stuff. And it ended up that I was just basically sitting there ranking up every day. That's all I was doing, and I wasn't really much. There wasn't really much else. So really, the only one I can only say YouTube, and that's about it. So yeah, that's about all I can say for that. I mean, I'm always on here. That's all I basically do if I'm going to be online. Besides, playing games. I do have Steam. I do play games every once in a while, but I don't do it all the time. Not lately, at least. I haven't had the time to play any games. Which is, I hate it, but, it's whatever. Anyways, that's the last of the questions so far, unless I get any from my latest blog posts. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'll probably just answer those individually. But, oh, here, that's an interesting fic. So yeah, thank you guys for participating in my Ask Me Anything. I do like it whenever people actually comment on my blog posts, which it kind of sucks because I have a lot of people that just view it and don't say anything, and it kind of gets unnerving because I'm like, I want somebody to talk about my blog posts, but I understand there's some people that just don't talk, and what can I do about that? I really can't force you to talk, but I would like you to talk. I would like people to be more into it and all that kind of stuff. Oh my god, I'm not even sure what I'm going to do about this. This thing's already almost an hour long. Actually, no, it's just about, if you round up, it's about an hour long. So this is going to be interesting. I wonder how YouTube's going to take this, because that's how I'm going to upload it. Alright, thanks guys. I'll probably be seeing me sometime soon later on with a new story or an update, whatever I can get. Thank you, and goodbye!